man, oh man, here we are. This is it, guys. The Browndust2 Goblin Slayer survey. Now, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. Let's just look. I'm going to go through what I put. Make this concise and make it clear. No need to really go on some diatribe, random tangent about how you think the devs are this and that. Listen, man, I already like these devs a lot more than a lot of other developers, right? I'm about to quit Nikke because those devs don't communicate, and they literally gave another quality of life to a whole different server, right? So, Browndust2, I like that they communicate with us, and they definitely take feedback to heart, so let's just be concise with it, right? So I'm going to go over everything I said and did. I've already done the survey, so before I submit, I'm going to read this off to you guys. So, when did you start playing Browndust2? I said I played since initial release. And if we continue, did you enjoy Story Pack 17? I said it was somewhat enjoyable. Please select what you enjoyed from 17. I said character charm, story presentation, and fully voice acting. I actually really like that it's dubbed. It helps a lot with the story. Okay. Did you enjoy the story content Innocent Full Moon? I said it was somewhat enjoyable. Which characters in Innocent Full Moon did you find the most appealing? I said Darian. We can keep going. Now, if we keep it going here, did you find Apostle Morpheus skill cutscene appealing? I said very satisfied, bro. Let me tell you something. This might be one of my favorite cutscenes ever, man. That is one of the most lewd cutscenes we've ever gotten. Were you satisfied with Morpheus' battle performance? I said mostly satisfied. I don't think with Morpheus Kit, I feel like most people will use her summer ability just because it's so useful to have, right? You get the 2 units and then you can kind of block skills with them, or you know, delay whatever content you're trying to do. But yeah, I would say I'm mostly satisfied, right? She's got a very unique kit, so you can't use it in every situation. Did you find Thorn of the Desert Rubia skill cutscene appealing? I said very satisfied. It was solid. Now, how enjoyable was Gridland Fire Fiend Hunt combat? I said mostly satisfied. How would you rate the difficulty level of Gridland? I said somewhat easy. How did you enjoy Abyssal Moon Shadow Tanya Fiend Hunt? I said mostly satisfied. How would you rate the difficulty level of Abyssal Moon Shadow Tanya Fiend Hunt? I said somewhat easy. Okay, let's keep it going. Now, this is where we get into some of the more important parts. Did you enjoy the story for Goblin Slayer pack? I said I really enjoyed it because I thought it was pretty good and accurate to the source material. Now, this is where it gets rough, right? So let's get into it. Now, please select what you enjoyed from the Goblin Slayer collab, from the Goblin Slayer collaboration. I said I enjoyed the story pack and presentation, the season event, and the various events. I did not put character event or character battle performance. Please select what you didn't enjoy from the Goblin Slayer collab. And I said character art, which is basically skill cutscene and character battle performance, right? Now, if we keep going, which character skill cutscenes from the Goblin Slayer collab did you like the most? Here's the thing, I was going to put Sword Maiden, but then I was like, I mean, did I really like it? Because I never even bothered to like I looked at it once and that was that. So I just said I didn't like any of their cutscenes. I thought they were just straight up mid, right? And I think everybody can agree with that. And it's not to say that Sword Maidens was bad, it's just they didn't have the chance to really do anything with it. And here's the thing, Goblin Slayer is a pretty mature series. There's been times where they've had them in bath scenes, bikini, the priestess and the Sword Maiden had to sleep with the Goblin Slayer to heal him. Like there's all types of things that they could have done, but they didn't want it to go really that far. Which character skill cutscenes from the Goblin Slayer collaboration did you dislike the most? And I said didn't like any of their cutscenes, right? A lot of people would even argue Goblin Slayer's cutscene was probably the one people enjoyed the most, but I'm just gonna say in general, I just didn't like any of them. Which character from the Goblin Slayer collab do you enjoy the most for their battle performance? I said Priestess. Priestess is pretty solid. Now again, mid. I don't need her ever. After this collab is over, I'm probably never going to use her again unless I'm facing off against like maybe some type of fiend hunt where she'll be useful. But even then, it's very rare that I'll probably use her because all it's going to take is like one decent light unit that can replace her and it's like already over, right? But I would say Priestess is probably the best. Which character from Goblin Slayer do you dislike the most? Sword Maiden. Here's the thing. Goblin Slayer, free, he's okay. High Elf Archer, she's got the crit rate. She also has the 1-turn cooldown. She's got her very niche scenarios, even for PvP. Cool. All these characters are mid, but Sword Maiden is garbage. She's garbage, and it's unfortunate to say that because even with the new content, the Fiend Hunt and all that stuff, I feel like there's no need to even use her. And the thing is, she could shine in Fiend Hunt, but you really don't need her. And the same thing with Guild Raid, you know? And the main reason is the 1-turn cooldown, but we're going to get into that. Or not the 1-turn cooldown, the 3-turn cooldown, right? So how would you rate the overall battle performance of the collaboration event? Now, I said somewhat weak, and that's only because Sword Maiden, right? I would say I would put this just right if Sword Maiden had a 1-turn cooldown, and maybe if they needed to, they could adjust the numbers, but I think even still, Sword Maiden wouldn't even be a problem. So I would say somewhat weak. I know they want it at just right, and just right is like Priestess, right? I think Priestess is like perfectly in the middle. The others have their niche situations, but that's fine, right? As long as you get like one that's like really just right. But even then, like I said, after this collab, I don't think anyone's touching these collab units unless it's really situational. All right, so let's keep it going. Oop, somewhat weak. Okay, so how satisfied are you with the Goblin Slayer collaboration overall? I said very dissatisfied. Now, here's the important part. Please share any suggestions or hopes you have for future collaborations or events. I put 4 things on here, so let's take a look. Now, number 1. When creating collab kits, I can understand not making them overpowered for players' sake, which is fine as you don't want to create FOMO, fear of missing out. However, character skills need to be 1-turn cooldown. Sword Maiden, I said for number 2, Sword Maiden performance is bad because she cannot rotate properly, dish out, and let's just say, and dish out damage when having to wait an extra turn to cool down. Her damage would be okay if she had a 1-turn cooldown. And I said 3, please do not collab with anyone that is not willing to have lewd cutscenes. The players understand that the IP holders were mostly at fault, but it's important that skill cutscenes are good as a lot of players look forward to them. If you find it too hard to balance collab units because they will be too underwhelming, have a vote with the player base on if they care if some units happen to be overpowered. Now, the thing about this one is this is completely up to them. I don't think this is going to happen, but if people actually don't care, then we can kind of leave these collabs as is, and if you miss the collab, then you miss the collab. It's whatever, right? But this is only if they find it difficult to balance characters, because they may think that, oh man, what do we even do? And the thing is, they need to realize, like, when you have these 1 costume units, they have to have either some type of passive if they have a 3-turn cooldown, right? For example, Yozakura, after she does her attack, she has a passive where her auto attack, as she waits for her cooldown, her auto attack does like a huge amount of damage based off a percentage of her magic attack, right? And Yozakura actually works decently, right? But if they can't do that, then in my opinion, 1-turn cooldown is the only way, right? Especially if they want these costumes to be mid. Which it's fine if they're mid because that doesn't create too much FOMO. People can save, you can get the character +1, and that's it. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Okay, let's keep it going. So, which packages or monetization elements during the collab event period did you like the most? I said guest welcoming, infinite draw, special season pass. Which recent game experience changes do you like the best? Gear preset, save gear separately for each game mode, recommended formation, set costume use order for combat, Luvencia speed up ability. Are there any existing features or game modes you'd like to see updated? Actually, hang on. The changes to the system are fine. I think all the updates are good. Are there any existing features or game modes you'd like to see updated? I said Evil Castle, Tower of Pride, Evil Castle, Tower of Desire, Wrath, Envy, Guild Raid. Now, here's where I explain. Are there any existing features or game modes you'd like to see updated? I said Tower of Pride. No more Tower of Pride reset. Allow it to give us our rewards automatically. Right? So, as you guys know, one of the most annoying things about Tower of Pride is that you have to do the shit over. And honestly, I know that there was a vote last time on the survey, but I think they just need to go ahead and do it, right? Tower of Pride is completely useless. Who cares about it? Just give us our ancient crystals, bro. Like, seriously. Now, for Guild Raid, I said co-op events with your guild, and that said some type of PvE content, right? Maybe all of us choose like one costume, or we choose one character, and we can kind of work together against some PvE boss. I don't know. That's just an idea. I think that would be fun. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. Some type of co-op. Please select the type of new content you would like to see in the future. So I said new minigame, and then I put other, and then it said share your thoughts on the next question. So I put a new co-op game mode or a one attack / action per turn PvE content. I think these are the only two things, either one of these I would like. After that, I would say the content for Browndust2 is like already good. Like, in my opinion, they want to keep the game casual, so I don't think adding too much more would be a little bit rough. But to keep things spicy, I think a new co-op game mode and or a turn-based type of content would be nice, right? But yeah, we'll see. What's the main reason you play Browndust2? Now, I said story, illustration, faded guest, full voice acting, operations, and community engagement. I actually like the community engagement a lot. Now, if this list was like a year ago, or a little, just under a year, I would have not put story, but I did get into story a lot more, probably towards the 1.5 Annie. Now, I used to actually read a lot of the Parallel World stories, but now the main story I actually pay attention to heavily. So, yeah, I would say these are pretty good. Strategic combat, the thing is, I like the combat in the game, so I don't want it to come off as like I don't like the combat. But if it wasn't for the illustrations, I don't think I'd be playing this game. Just because me personally, when it comes to like the chibi style games, it takes a lot for me to play it. So illustrations helped. Along the way, story and faded guest came through for me, and I was like, yes, right? So I do like the combat though. Now, please feel free to share your main reason for playing Browndust2. I said mature cutscenes, mature faded guests, the storytelling, main story, and Parallel World stories. Also, Gluppy Diner story as well. In-game content, which I actually do like a lot. I like the Guild Raid. I like the Fiend Hunt. They're very fun, especially when you have to strategize. Female character / costumes, right? So pretty simple, nothing too crazy. But yeah. Okay, so please feel free to share your feedback and thoughts on Browndust2. I said number 1, we understand the difficulties of IP holders. Just keep in mind players want good cutscenes and units that are not overpowered but okay at most. Sword Maiden is the only one that is awful. In parentheses. 2. For new content, something regarding co-op for seasonal. Ooh, let me correct that. Okay, let's read that again. So, number 2, for new content, something regarding co-op for seasonal events or Guild Raid, or a turn-based system for seasonal event or Guild Raid. Let's keep going. I said, next question is, have you ever found in-game text or instructions confusing enough that it broke your immersion? I said no. Were there any elements that kept you from immersing in the game story? I said no. And the last question, how would you rate the in-game localization / translation? I said very satisfied. So that is everything I put in the whole thing here. I'll probably go back real quick just to double check everything. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the collab. Let me know how you're feeling. And yeah, just make sure on this survey you make things as clear as possible. And yeah, man. Hopefully you guys like that video. I think this is probably one of their most important surveys, so it'll be interesting to see the results of this whole thing and what they say in the future. Okay, guys, I am out. Later.